Why you're always tired after 40, and why it may have nothing to do with age. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you woke up feeling truly refreshed? Not just awake, not just functional, but genuinely energized. For many people over 40, the answer is surprisingly difficult. They wake up tired, they move through the day tired, and by evening, they feel completely drained. At first, they blame a busy week, then a stressful month. Then they start blaming age, and that's where the problem begins. Because once people decide that exhaustion is simply a normal part of getting older, they stop looking for answers. Imagine this. You buy a beautiful house. One day, you notice a small crack in the wall. It's easy to ignore. Months pass. The crack gets larger. But instead of investigating the foundation, you tell yourself, well, houses get old. The problem is not the age of the house. The problem is what's happening underneath. Your body works the same way. Fatigue is often a signal, a message, a clue. And today, we're going to uncover what your body may be trying to tell you. Let's start with something that surprises almost everyone. Your body is designed to create energy. Think about that for a moment. Every heartbeat, every breath, every step, every thought requires energy. Your body is not designed to be exhausted all the time. So when fatigue becomes your normal state, something is usually interfering with that process. The first hidden cause is one of the most overlooked nutritional problems in modern life: low magnesium. Now, magnesium isn't exciting. It doesn't get the same attention as protein, or vitamin D, or weight loss supplements. But magnesium is involved in more than 300 biochemical reactions inside the body. 300. Imagine a factory with 300 production lines. Now imagine one critical worker suddenly disappears. At first, the factory still functions. But slowly, everything becomes less efficient. Production slows, mistakes increase, the entire system struggles. That's what happens when magnesium levels become too low. People often describe it in the same way. They feel tired, their muscles feel tight, their sleep becomes lighter, their stress feels harder to manage, and they begin relying on coffee just to make it through the day. But here's the surprising part. Many people never realize they're low in magnesium because the symptoms don't appear overnight. They appear slowly, so slowly that fatigue starts feeling normal. Now let's talk about another hidden energy thief, one that may be sitting in your kitchen right now: sugar. Imagine you're building a campfire. If you throw a handful of paper onto the flames, you get a sudden burst of heat, but it disappears quickly. Now imagine placing a solid log on the fire. The burn is slower, steadier, longer lasting. Your body responds to food in a very similar way. Many people start their morning with foods that create a rapid rise in blood sugar. Sweet coffee, pastries, sugary cereal, flavored yogurt, energy bars. At first, they feel great. More alert, more awake, more energized. But then something happens. The energy crash arrives. And when it does, the brain immediately looks for another quick source of fuel. Another coffee, another snack, another sugar hit. The cycle repeats, day after day, month after month, year after year. Eventually, people begin believing they have an energy problem, when in reality, they have a blood sugar roller coaster. And roller coasters are exciting in amusement parks, but they're exhausting inside the human body. Now let's look at something even more surprising: sleep. Most people believe sleep is simple. You sleep 8 hours, you wake up refreshed. But that's not how recovery works. Imagine charging your phone overnight using a damaged charging cable. The phone stays plugged in, the screen says it's charging, but in the morning, the battery is still nearly empty. That's exactly what poor quality sleep does to your body. You may spend 8 hours in bed, but if the quality of that sleep is poor, the recovery never happens. And without recovery, energy becomes impossible to maintain. This is why two people can sleep the exact same number of hours and wake up feeling completely different. One feels energized, the other feels exhausted. The difference is not just how long they slept, it's how deeply they recovered. And that brings us to another major cause of fatigue after 40: stress. Not dramatic stress, not emergencies, not disasters, just constant pressure. The kind that never completely goes away. The emails, the responsibilities, the financial worries, the family obligations, the endless list of things that need your attention. Imagine driving a car with one foot on the accelerator every hour of every day. Eventually, the engine overheats. Your nervous system works the same way, and when it remains in survival mode for too long, fatigue becomes unavoidable. But here's the encouraging news. None of these causes are permanent. And in the next part of this video, we'll uncover 3 more hidden reasons why your energy may be disappearing, including one mistake that millions of healthy adults make every single day without realizing it. Let's continue. The next hidden cause of fatigue is something most people rarely think about: protein. Imagine you're trying to renovate a house. The workers are ready, the plans are prepared, the tools are available, but the building materials never arrive. No wood, no bricks, no concrete. Eventually, the entire project slows down. Your body faces a similar problem when protein intake is too low. Protein is not just about building muscle. It's involved in repair, recovery, hormone production, immune function, and maintaining healthy energy levels. Yet many adults over 40 consume far less protein than they realize. A bagel for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, a light dinner, maybe a few snacks throughout the day. At first glance, it seems like enough food, but when you examine the actual protein content, it's often surprisingly low. The result? Slower recovery, reduced muscle mass, more hunger, lower energy. And here's something many people don't realize. Beginning around age 30, adults naturally start losing muscle mass. The process is gradual, almost invisible, but over time, it becomes significant. Think of muscle as your body's engine. The smaller the engine becomes, the harder your body has to work. That's one reason why maintaining muscle is one of the most powerful strategies for healthy aging. Now let's move to another hidden cause: dehydration. This one sounds simple. Too simple, which is exactly why it's often ignored. Imagine a garden during a hot summer. The plants don't die immediately, they simply lose their vibrancy. The leaves begin to droop, growth slows, everything becomes less efficient. The human body responds similarly. Even mild dehydration can affect concentration, mood, physical performance, and energy. The problem is that many people don't feel thirsty until they're already dehydrated. They start the day with coffee, drink another coffee at work, maybe a soft drink with lunch, and by evening, they've consumed very little actual water. The brain notices, the muscles notice, the cardiovascular system notices, and fatigue begins to appear. But there is another factor that may be even more important: inflammation. Now, when people hear the word inflammation, they often imagine pain, swelling, injury. But chronic inflammation is different. It's quieter, more subtle, more dangerous. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with rocks. Not for an hour, not for a day, but for years. Eventually, everything feels harder. Walking feels harder. Climbing stairs feels harder. Living feels harder. Chronic inflammation creates a similar burden inside the body. And unfortunately, modern life provides plenty of fuel for it. Poor sleep, excess sugar, highly processed foods, lack of movement, chronic stress, all contribute to an environment where inflammation can quietly increase. And as inflammation rises, energy often falls. This brings us to one of the most overlooked truths about fatigue. Most people are searching for a magic supplement, a miracle vitamin, a secret solution. But fatigue is rarely caused by a single factor. More often, it's the result of several small problems occurring at the same time. Imagine trying to row a boat while 5 different people are pulling the oars in different directions. Each problem may seem small, but together, they create enormous resistance. That's why solving fatigue often requires looking at the whole picture, not just one symptom, not just one blood test, not just one supplement, the entire picture. Now, I want you to think about something. What if the exhaustion you've accepted as normal isn't actually normal? What if your body isn't slowing down because of age? What if it's simply adapting to years of poor recovery, years of nutrient deficiencies, years of chronic stress, years of blood sugar instability? Because the human body is remarkably resilient, give it what it needs, and it often responds in extraordinary ways. I've seen people in their 50s regain energy they hadn't felt in years. I've seen people in their 60s improve their strength, their sleep, their focus, their vitality. Not because they discovered a miracle, but because they finally addressed the underlying causes. So where should you start? Start simple. Focus on protein at every meal. Prioritize sleep, stay hydrated, move your body daily, reduce added sugars. And if fatigue persists, work with a qualified healthcare professional to investigate deeper causes. Remember this, growing older is inevitable. Feeling exhausted every day is not. Your body is always communicating with you. Fatigue is one of its loudest messages. The question is not whether your body is speaking. The question is, are you listening? If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more science-based nutrition and healthy aging content. Because the goal is not simply to live longer. The goal is to feel alive while you're living. Before we finish, I want to leave you with one final thought. Imagine two people. Both are 50 years old. Both wake up at the same time. Both live in the same city. Both have similar responsibilities. Yet one person moves through the day with energy, focus, motivation, and confidence, while the other struggles just to make it through the afternoon. Why? Most people assume genetics. And genetics do matter. But genetics are only part of the story. Lifestyle is the environment in which your genes operate. Think of your genes as the piano. Lifestyle is the pianist. The instrument matters, but how it's played matters too. This is why two people can age very differently. One person slowly loses energy year after year. The other seems to remain vibrant far longer than expected. The difference often comes down to thousands of small decisions repeated over time. Now let's turn this information into action. Not next month, not next year, today. Here is a simple 7-day energy reset. Day 1. Start your morning with protein. Not just coffee, not just toast, not just cereal. Give your body the raw materials it needs. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. Protein-rich foods that help stabilize energy. Day 2. Pay attention to hydration. Before your first coffee, drink water. Many people notice an immediate improvement in mental clarity simply by correcting mild dehydration. Day 3. Take a close look at your sleep environment. Is your bedroom cool, dark, quiet? Small improvements in sleep quality can create dramatic improvements in energy. Day 4. Reduce added sugar. Not forever, just for one day. Notice how your energy changes. Notice how your cravings change. Notice how your focus changes. Many people are surprised by what they discover. Day 5. Move your body. Not to punish yourself, not to burn calories. Move because the human body was designed to move. A walk, light strength training, stretching, anything that increases circulation and signals your body to stay strong. Day 6. Spend a few minutes outside. Natural light helps regulate your biological clock, and your biological clock influences energy more than most people realize. Day 7. Ask yourself one question. What is my body trying to tell me? Because symptoms are often messages. Fatigue, brain fog, poor sleep, low motivation. They're not character flaws, they're clues, and clues deserve attention. Now imagine something. Imagine waking up 6 months from now. You open your eyes, you feel clear, focused, ready for the day. You don't immediately reach for caffeine. You don't need 3 cups of coffee just to function. You don't spend the afternoon fighting exhaustion. You feel capable again. That future is often much closer than people think, because energy is not something you find. It's something you rebuild, one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one day at a time. And perhaps the most important thing to remember is this. Aging is normal. Fatigue is common. But common does not mean normal. Never confuse the two. Your body was designed to be resilient, to adapt, to heal, to recover. The sooner you start supporting it, the sooner it can start supporting you. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more evidence-based nutrition and healthy aging content. And leave a comment below. Tell me, what drains your energy the most? I'd love to hear your experience. Until next time, take care of your body. It's the only place you'll ever have to live.